What's up, people? Welcome. Welcome to Inconsistent Life, whereby we will be discussing all the rubbish that is happening in the world. Now, today, we have an interesting one. Piers Morgan answers this question, or rather, asks this simple question: what is a woman? Well, as much of a simple question that is, apparently, it's a difficult question to some people. Now, let's find out what Piers had to say or what he has to report about. Hey man, the world is turned over. We have new ideas every single day, and this is one of them. Here we go.
Back to Piers Morgan Uncensored. It's a simple question that now terrifies politicians the world over. And it's this: what is a woman? Well, Conservative podcast host Matt Walsh, in a moment of defined intervention, has made a documentary about it, and it's called simply, What is a Woman?
You know what he just said to now? This statement, this simple question is what terrifies politicians. I mean, come on, really? Is this really what terrifies politicians? This simple question? People can answer this simple question. What is a woman? Have people really lost their mind up to this point, whereby everyone doesn't have to be wrong? You have to be right. You don't have to offend people. If you're offending someone, then you have to be booted out, or you have to be cancelled, or you don't exist. You're a piece of shit. Really? Guys, come on. Let's just continue. Let's continue.
And it's out now.
What is a woman? Can you tell me that? Well, you're at the Women's March. You must have some idea. Please.
Wait. You see what just happened there? These people, they are at a women's march, but they cannot answer what is a woman. Why? Why is that such a difficult question? Is it because you don't want to offend some people who identify as women even though they are not? Is it because you don't want to hurt someone's feelings? What is it? What is it? What makes you to not be able to answer this simple question? In which, in my country, in this third world country that I live in, if you ask this simple question to a child, I mean, they will answer it in early in the morning. Even you can wake them up and ask them; they will answer it. It's a simple question, But here are other people marching, and they don't know the answer to it. This is ridiculous. Let's continue.
If one person could tell me what a woman is.
You are not here for women. We ask you to leave.
What is that?
What is that? What is a woman? If you're not here, she says, if you're not here for women, then leave. But what is a woman, really? That's the question. Can you please answer that question, and then I'll decide if I'm here for women, or I see if I agree with what you are saying. Guys, hi, come on. But let's continue, because this seems interesting.
Woman is not anything in particular.
There is not one particular thing.
It could be many things to.
No. Listen, a woman cannot be many things to many people. Woman is one. There's only one definition of a woman, and that is a female adult. That's it. There's no debate. There's nothing. You cannot just wake up any day and decide to identify as something. It doesn't work like that.
Many people.
Some women have penises, right? Some men have vaginas.
Ugh. That is hurting. That is actually disturbing. No. You see, this is what's wrong with this modern lifestyle. You see what this woman just said. She said some really rubbish thing that a normal human being is just 10 years ago, you wouldn't think that a human being, a fully developed human being with a full functioning brain would ever say something like this. How can a woman have a penis? Doesn't make sense. That is a man. That is a man. There's no man in this world that has a vagina. It just doesn't happen, guys. Whatever you decide to believe, it doesn't happen. Just go to these third world countries and ask them, ask them this simple question and see their reaction. See what their answer is. These modern societies, they think they are being smart or else they're destroying the very nature of being a human being. Let's continue.
I like scented candles, and I've watched Sex and the City.
Yeah,
How do I know if I'm a woman?
that's a great question.
No, it's not. It's not a great question. Dude, you're not a woman. You're just not. Whatever movie you watch, whatever emotion you're feeling, you're just not a woman. It's just it doesn't. Let's continue, guys. Let's continue.
You're not a scientist. You're not a gender studies major.
No,
How do you know that you're a man?
I guess because I got a dick.
Yep. Perfect answer. A perfect answer coming from a man. Yes. Yes. Yes, I fully agree. What makes you a man? How do you know that you are a man? Well, because I have a dick. That's it. That's it. That's a simple answer. If you don't have it, you're not a man. It's that simple. And people just want to confuse you. They just, people just. I mean, what's happening here, man? People just they think they are confused, but they're not. They're just trying to make problems where they don't exist. As human nature, we have evolved into always fighting. If you're not fighting, if someone is just sitting there and having everything delivered, then it's gonna create a problem that is this ridiculous. 10 years ago, 20 years ago, who would have thought that these are the questions that 20 years from now people are going to be asking? These are species that created spaceships, that created the internet, but they're asking these types of questions. Really? Let's continue.
Can a man become a woman?
I'm not a woman.
You see that right there? You see that? Yeah. You see their reaction? See how they are laughing? See how let's go back. See how they are laughing.
Not a gender studies major.
No,
How do you know that you're a man?
I guess because I got a dick.
Can a man become a woman?
You see that? You see this? See here. Here. This is a reaction coming from a third world person because this question is ridiculous. You don't ask this type of questions to human beings. You just don't. No one is going to come to you in a third world country and ask you, are you a man or are you a woman? Because that's obvious. These people have serious problems. This is what happens when society have everything in their doorsteps. You don't have to work today. You don't have to do anything. You can just sit on your ass and everything is delivered. What happens is now you're doubting everything. You're doubting that you're a man. You're doubting that you're a woman. At the end of the day, your own ideas are influencing others. Just because you're sitting at home and not doing anything, you're doubting yourself. Then you give other people to doubt themselves as well. This is what modern society has brought into the world. Ridiculous questions that no one is supposed to be asking in the modern lifestyle. But let's continue.
I'm not a woman, so I can't really answer that.
Women only
She said she's not a woman. Well, I'm not surprised. Let's continue.
know what women are.
Are you a cat?
No.
Can you tell me what a cat is? You want to tell us what a woman is?
She can't even define what a cat is. I guys, come on, really? For people who live in third world countries like myself, we look at these countries and we think, those are better places. Those people, they are free, they are nice, they live this lifestyle that we all desire. But then you look and then you see this, and you be like, no, man, no. No. This is not the way to live, man. No. People are just confused in this world. In these countries, people are just confused. They don't know what to call themselves. They don't know how to identify. They're just miserable. But let's continue.
Well, Matt Walsh joins me now. Matt, great to talk to you. It's a fascinating documentary because the chronic inability of apparently sane, intelligent individuals to answer this incredibly simple question is breathtaking.
It's breathtaking. P.S. man, come on. It's ridiculous, is what it is. It's not breathtaking. These people know the answers. They just don't want to answer.
And, we're seeing it all over the world now, senior politicians everywhere. And we saw it with Ketanji Brown Jackson. This is a woman who's now a Supreme Court justice. This is what she said when she was asked about this in her confirmation hearing.
Can you provide a definition for the word woman?
Can I provide a definition? No.
Yeah.
No. No. Wait. No. What do you mean no? This person works with the law, but she doesn't know what a woman is, or she cannot provide a definition for this simple word. This person is a U.S. Supreme Court nominee. No. This is not the way to live life, guys. Come on. It's not. It's just not. You need a bit of suffering, to keep you in your senses. You need a bit of suffering. When everything is just easy to get, these are the results. When everything is just easy, when life is you don't have to worry about anything. These are your worries. People cannot define simple words. Let's continue.
I can't.
You can't?
Not in
Okay.
this context.
So you
I'm not a
believe the meaning
biologist.
of-
She can't define what is a woman. Yet, this is a justice nominee. Wow. Let's continue.
I mean, Matt, when you heard that, when you heard a Supreme Court justice nominee saying, I can't say what a woman is, even though she is one, because she's not a biologist, what did you think?
Well, first I thought this is great timing because we were going to announce our film that week, and then that moment happened, and it was kind of divine providence, I think, as you pointed out. There's two different things going on here.
You see, the fact that this guy had a budget, let alone all the time to put in a movie that defines what a woman is, just shows you the level of ridiculousness that exists in today's world. Don't you have better things to do, man? You could have used that money for something better. You could have done something much better. But yet, you use that money to make a documentary about women. Let's continue.
You've got people who can't answer the question, who are actually confused about it, and that's quite terrible.
They are not confused. They are not. They just don't want to offend other people. That's the whole point. They're not confused. They know exactly what a woman is. And they know exactly the definition straight from the dictionary. They just don't want to offend people, because, hey, feelings are much better than facts these days.
Terrifying that people are confused about something as simple as this. But then you also have people who are pretending to be confused when they're not really, which is actually even more concerning in a lot of ways. And I think that Ketanji Brown Jackson, I'm going to assume, given that she's a very successful, intelligent person, and she is a woman herself and realizes that she's a woman, I think she's in the latter category where she actually knows that a woman is a female, but is pretending that she doesn't know because she's beholden to this ideology that has, basically backs her into this corner. And so she has to feign ignorance about something as simple as this.
Right, I mean,
You see that right there, man. No better words have ever been said, man. Yes, everything you just said perfectly, 100%. Yes. But there's one thing that you just said. You said she's intelligent. I actually doubt that she is, because she only just studied a book, Her whole life is based on a book, following rules. So how could you say that's intelligent? It's not. It's following rules. And right now she's also following another rule that says you cannot offend people. even though you know exactly what it is.
I asked the president of in the UK, the National Union of Students president, a young woman, a very bright young woman, but I asked her, what is a woman, out of interest? And she thought I was trying to trap her. She actually thought this was a trap. I said,
You were trying to trap her.
no, I'm just asking you what you think a woman is. It's not a trap. It shouldn't be a trap. How have we got here, Matt? How have we...
We got here because people are just having life on easy mode. You know, there's nothing to worry about. I can get anything I want. I don't have to work. I don't have to care. I don't have to do anything. I can just live and there's nothing to worry about. And then I'm going to create these worries. That's it. That's how we got here. Or should I say, that's how you people got there. Because in this part of the world, this shit doesn't exist.
got to a place where...
Even if it does exist, there's very few people who entertain it. You know, it's not as popular as it is in these Western countries.
Young women are paralyzed with fear about even saying what they are.
This is gender ideology. I mean, that's what this is. And
gender ideology. No, it's foolishness. That's what it is. You know, there's nothing wrong with being foolish. People who are foolish have been in existence all of human history. Just that today, being foolish is much more common than being actually logical.
you know, you could kind of, if you want to trace it back, you could kind of decide how far back you want to go. There are certain landmark moments you can point to in history. Now, I think for a lot of people, it feels like everyone knew what a woman was, and a man was a man, and a woman was a woman, up until about 8 years ago, and then everyone lost their minds. But it actually traces back farther than that. In the film, we go back and we trace it back to guys like John Money and Alfred Kinsey, you know, sexologists and psychoanalysts in the mid.
You know, I don't care how far this goes, but if you asked me 10 years ago this simple question, or where human beings would be 10 years from now, if you asked me this type of question 10 years ago, no one would have thought that these would be the pressing issues that human beings have to unravel or fix or whatever. You know, people are just fixing fictional things. People are creating problems every single day, and they want everyone to fix them. You see, no one would have thought that this is where the world is heading if you look back 10 years ago. But hey, here we are now, and it's getting worse.
20th century, who came up with what we know today as sort of the early iteration of modern day gender ideology. And I think they got it into the institutions, especially higher, you know, academia, those kinds of institutions. And then from there, it sort of filtered down to the general public. Maybe about 8 years ago is when it sort of exploded onto the mainstream.
It got exploded because of the internet. That's it. You know, the reason why it didn't explode all those years ago is because no one cared. You know, one message, if you had an idea, you cannot just spread it around and people would just accept it because people found it to be ridiculous. You know, most people found it to be ridiculous. But the power of the internet today is that I can just say anything, and I will find people who actually agree with me. You know, I don't have to convince everyone. I can just convince 2 people who have 5 million followers on Twitter or on Instagram. And that's enough. And that's enough to get this onto Piers Morgan. That's enough for Piers Morgan to talk about it. You know, back in the days, you didn't have this power. People just didn't have these powers. But today they do because of the internet.
Scene and took over at least the Western world after that point, I think.
And where it's got, I think, really dangerous and insidious, actually, to society is particularly in issues like sport, where you see trans athletes now dominating in women's sport. We had an example of this at the weekend, where a biological male skateboarder who was 32, I think, or something. This person decided to compete as a woman, has now transitioned to be a woman, in this skateboarding competition in New York against girls as young as 12.
You see where the problem is. You see what he just said there. Yeah? A man, 32 years old, competing against 12-year-olds. And this man was competing against other men before, and they were crushing him. He didn't exist. But because now he just identified as a woman, he's competing against girls and he's crushing them. You know, he's breaking records. And you're calling this fair? Wow.
And destroyed the field and won. This is what the trans athlete said afterwards.
I find that funny because that's like what I'm getting beat up about the most is like, you're beating little kids and little girls. And I'm just like, I didn't intend to do that. Like, this was the first competition that I've been to that.
No, stop lying, man. That's exactly what you intended. You intended exactly that because you couldn't beat other men who play the exact same sport as you. So stop acting confused. You knew exactly what you were doing. You just woke up one day and decided, you know what, I can't compete against guys. So what's the next best thing? Well, I can compete against women. I'm much stronger. I have better body than them. Much more muscular. I can beat them. That's exactly what you did. You just woke up one day and decided to be a woman. 1 year later, you're beating little girls.
I actually wanted to win. The skill level's, again, really determined by your determination.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Because if it was, you would have been number one on the men's side, on the men side of the sport. But you weren't. And now you want to talk about skill. No. Where was your skill when you were competing against men? So you're telling me your skill only exists when you're competing against young girls, 12 years old? Come on.
Tenacity to just like put yourself on top and through these obstacles has nothing to do with your age.
Do you think that
It definitely has something to do with your age, and your experience and your body and everything else that you were born with, that you had as a man. It definitely does. So stop saying it doesn't.
you have a physical advantage?
I'm like, look at me. I'm not like buff or anything.
You don't have to be buff. These guys, you don't have to be buff. You don't have to be buff. The fact is, you're still better than an average woman. That's it. That's what matters. You don't have to be buff. And the fact that you're wearing that doesn't actually change anything. You're still a man.
No, I don't think skateboarding has anything to do with physicality.
Actually, it does because you couldn't beat other men, and now you're crushing these girls. So it definitely has to do with your whole body and structure. Stop trying to act like a fool here. Just man up and face other men.
I mean, actually, Ricky Trez there is 29 or 32, but the competition, the girl who came second was 12. The kind of level of delusion there, that there was no physical advantage from being a biological male, that's where we've got to. They genuinely believe there's something wrong with this, but it's clearly, to me, transparently unfair.
The thing is, PS, everyone knows it's unfair. Even that guy who was playing there, he knows exactly that it's unfair. It's unfair, but he still does it because he doesn't care. He's been given this opportunity and he's gonna take it. Because if you deny it, if you're saying he's doing it just to win these trophies, then it can call you sexist. It can call you anything, and then you'll be shut down. You'll be called all these other things that are just wrong. Everyone know it's unfair. Everyone.
Right. Well, we also live in a world where now you can't say pregnant woman, you say pregnant people because supposedly men get pregnant.
You see? this modern times is crazy. Crazy. It's really crazy. Pregnant people, really. Listen, only a woman can get pregnant. I don't care what you say or what you believe. Only a woman can get pregnant. That's it.
This is the ultimate. This is the emperor has no clothes, and almost everybody. You look at that, and if you're asked, does it make sense to have a 29-year-old father of three competing in the women's competition against 13-year-old girls?
She's a father of three. Oh wait, he's a father of three, and yet he identifies as a woman, and now he's competing against 12-year-old boys. Anyway, girls. Even if it was boys, man, you still win. And people are calling it fair. Father of three competing against 12-year-old is fair. Wow. I'm starting to think about my career, really. I mean, what stops me from competing against other women? Despite the fact that I'm not a woman and I will never be a woman. But I can still wake up tomorrow and say that I am and compete against other women and trash them. That might not be a bad idea, actually.
If people feel like they're in a position where they could be honest about it, almost everyone is going to say, obviously, no. By the way, about that particular individual, he actually did an interview about a year ago where he said that he knows he's not a woman, but he wants to be cute and feminine like women, and so that's what he's trying to do. He actually,
You see, he's trying to be cute and feminine like a woman. Well, how nice. Look at him now. He's actually competing against women. Oh wait, not even women, against girls, young girls.
says that. So it's got to the point now where someone, they don't even affirm themselves as a woman, and yet we have to do that. It just doesn't make any sense at all.
How has your documentary gone down, Matt? Have you had a lot of pressure not to give it much airtime?
Yeah, well, it's been interesting. So it's, we've fortunately been able to get outside of kind of the conservative podcast bubble and reach a mainstream audience, which is what we wanted to do. And the reception in that kind of general audience has been really overwhelmingly good. And
Man, I can tell you right now, your documentary is perfect. Is right perfect. Even though no one would have thought about it 10 years ago, but right at this very moment, it's perfect. Because people are just crazy these days. You just get tired of it, of all this rubbish that is happening. So when someone speaks out, it's refreshing, it's breathtaking. Yes, we want more.
people are happy this film is out there. The mainstream critics, though, have just decided they're going to ignore this movie completely. You go to Rotten Tomatoes right now, and you'll find that not one single mainstream film critic has reviewed the film. We sent the screeners to mainstream critics, and they told us, I refuse to watch it. I'm not going to watch anything from the Daily Wire.
Let them do it. We don't care. They can criticize it as much as they want. We do not care. Your movie is exactly what modern society needs and wants. It's exactly what people have been waiting for, because this thing is being shoved down our throat and we don't want it. We don't want it. If you ask a normal human being these types of question, they will gladly answer it. But because they don't want to be cancelled, because they don't want to ruin their reputation, they're not going to answer it. So when someone like yourself comes out with a documentary, it's breathtaking. It's exactly what we want. We want more of it. More people should speak out, because this is tiring, man. Come on.
And so they won't even look at it. They refuse to even take the time to see what we can present.
Which is complete madness, because I watched it with great fascination. It's very well made. It's a very simple premise. And the results, frankly, are startling and pretty disconcerting. Final question, Matt. In the interest of fair play, what is a man?
Well, if a woman is an adult human female, then I suppose a man would be an adult human male, I would say.
Yes. And every society, every human being in this world who has enough brain cells would actually agree with that. Go to any society in the world, go to third world countries, go anywhere and ask these questions. Everyone is going to say the same thing until you get to Western societies whereby you cannot define these words or these terms. they're sexist, whatever, you know. But anywhere in the world, it's normally it's actually okay to be a man and okay to be a woman, you know. And here I am living in a third world country, looking at these first world countries and thinking, wow, they must have everything perfectly fine. But, you know, it's much better to live here. It's way better to be here because I don't have to subject myself to this rubbish. But the thing is, this shit is coming, it's reaching our shores. It actually has reached our shores. You know, people here, they are starting to identify as this rubbish. But the good thing is most people here, they're not about that Western lifestyle. You know, people here are still traditional. So it's much better. It's not going to go as much far as the Western countries. Yep. That's it, guys. That's it. That's it. That's all I had to say on with regards to these simple questions that if you asked anyone 10 years ago, they'd actually laugh at you. But today, it's normal for people not to know simple words or simple statements. There are things you cannot just say in public because, hey, you're offending a couple of people. This is the world in today's view. I'm telling you, it's boring and it's tiring. And most people like myself are just not gonna survive it, you know. We're just not, and we don't want to survive it. So yeah, this all my take, guys. If you have any comment, please comment down below. And please like the video and subscribe. My goal is to reach 100 subscribers. Please help me out. I'm trying. Just help me out. If you like this video, man, you want more videos like this one, please subscribe because I'm coming with better content. Yeah, that's it. Coming from a third world person. Yep. Peace.